The news day continues here in One News Now. I'm Diego Castro. Here are the top stories of the hour. Defense Secretary Gibo Teodoro is not keen on reviving peace talks with the Communist Party of the Philippines. Teodoro said peace talks with the CPP would be a subversion of the country's democratic processes. Instead, he explained that it would be better for them to register as a legitimate political party. Former President Rodrigo Duterte scrapped the peace talks, citing attacks against troops and civilians.
Sa tingin ko, ang peace talks ay sa akin sa version ng ating proseso demokratiko, no? Pwede naman natin pag-usapan yung mga issue na yan sa tamang forum. Yan ay ang Kongreso at magsumanib sila sa legitimate political process. Hindi naman bawal lang CPP eh.
The National Democratic Front of the Philippines says they are not surprised by Teodoro's position. The NDFP adds that the current administration appears unwilling to resume the peace talks. Defense Chief Gibo Teodoro is also not keen on reinstating the agency's security accord with the University of the Philippines. Teodoro said he does not want to reverse the policy made by his predecessor, Delfin Lorenzana. In 2021, Lorenzana unilaterally terminated the UP-DND accord over alleged CPP recruitment activities. The agreement had prevented state forces from entering any of the UP campuses since 1989. While he rejects its revival, Teodoro, a UP alumnus, said the government must be mindful of the university's autonomy.
I encourage all law enforcement officers to be really mindful of the balance between freedom of expression and protecting the peace.
President Bongbong Marcos assures the public that he is keeping close watch of the activity of Mayon volcano. According to the president, the government is now taking precautionary steps like evacuations to avoid casualties in the event that Mayon does erupt. The president also assures that the government is ready to assist those who will be affected by its potential eruption. Mayon volcano is currently still under alert level 3.
Naka-ready na naman tayo at ganun naman talaga ang ating ginagawa. We watch it very, very closely, make sure that any of the communities that could be affected are evacuated and are given assistance while they are evacuated until the time that they can return to their homes. So it's the same thing.
PHIVOLCS, however, says it is now studying possible adjustments to the alert level over Mayon. Speaking on the big story, Director Teresito Bacolcol explained that they are now looking into several parameters that could raise the alert status for the volcano. Bacolcol said that there could be two scenarios: an eruption with sporadic explosions on a relatively quiet one, or a relatively quiet one like what happened in 2014.
We are waiting for an increase in sulfur dioxide. This would imply that new magma is intruding to the shallower part of the edifice. And we are also looking at increase in the mass flux as evidenced by longer lava flows. We are also waiting for an increase in the seismicity as well as the inflation of the edifice and of course minor explosions.
We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on The One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Diego Castro. The Energy Department asked the World Bank to step up its financial support for the Philippines' shift to cleaner energy. Energy Secretary Rafael Lotilla thanked the World Bank for its Philippines report called Securing a Clean Energy Future. However, Lotilla says that if the World Bank wants the country to achieve this, financing should be made available to Manila. The energy chief says the World Bank must invest in the Philippines, like it did with alternative energy sources in Vietnam, Indonesia, and South Africa.
I go back again to my challenge to World Bank and our other development partners that the green transition or the climate transition or the securing a clean energy future must be a just and fair transition. Unfortunately, we are not part of any of the just energy transition partnerships that have already been put in place.
Lotilla also hints at the government's plans to invest and once again operate the transmission sector, which is currently under the National Grid Corporation of the Philippines.
Once the government has fiscal space, the government will revisit and reevaluate financing investment in transmission. Financing in investment will be separated from the regulatory structure of transmission tariffs.
The El Nino phenomenon has officially returned. That's according to the U.S. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration's Climate Prediction Center. The U.S. agency warns that the El Nino is likely to yield extreme weather later this year, with tropical cyclones expected to spin towards vulnerable Pacific islands. Heavy rainfall is expected to fall over South America, while the forecaster warns of drought in Australia and some parts of Asia. The last time an El Nino was in place in 2016, the world saw its hottest year on record. Coupled with warming from climate change, global temperatures are seen to possibly reach new highs in 2023 or 2024. Newly minted Health Secretary Ted Herbosa has apologized for his controversial tweet from 2021. At the height of the pandemic, Herbosa tweeted a photo that paid tribute to frontliners. But in his caption, Herbosa said health workers who participated in protests were exempted from his thanks. Some frontliners took offense as they were protesting issues like late payment of salaries and lack of benefits for their service. Herbosa says he will now be more careful with his statements, and the Filipino Nurses United Association says they will hold the new health secretary to this promise.
I apologize again in public for saying those things. Health secretary na ako, mukhang kailangan mag-ingat ako to things that I say.
Kung sinasabi niya na nagkamali siya, syempre i-accept naman po namin. Pero sana ang pakiusap din po namin ay iwasan na niya po ang pagja-judge sa amin.
And that's it for this hour. I'm Diego Castro. Join us again at 11:15 a.m. We are One News. All sides, all the time.